And yeah, so that's pretty much it. So you see Google here. Like I said, we're at a position of $90.40. The lowest I could have possibly gotten for was around $88, $90 back in December. And you can see this is a good trending example. You watch it go from $20 to damn near $200. Not too far off, 150, around 150. So not too far off. But to get that type of same exponential growth over the next 10 years is what I'm looking for. And even if I fall short, that's fine. This is one of my larger cap stocks. So we're already at 1.5 trillion. So I really don't think it's going to do what it's already done, unless the overall market does something that it's never done. And it is possible with the advent of artificial intelligence and things like that, and you know the path that we're moving towards. It's possible, but it's a little bit more far-fetched than, let's say, a Tenaya, for example, where their market cap is only at 468 million. So the opportunity for exponential growth is much more here than it would be for a company who's already at 1.1 trillion, for example. So my plan is to get Tenaya up, but the objective is I've lost so much growth-wise, meaning I've grown so much on Tenaya, that for me to be striking it at 60% above what I paid for it originally would be screwing my average price all up, which is what I've already done, and I don't want to do anymore. If I can go back to my transactions, you'll see that I was striking Tenaya when they were at a really low price. Let's see, my first one was back in March of last year. And if we were to go back to March of last year, just December alone, I was at $1.81. So if I go back to March of the previous year, then you can see, hey, I struck this thing at some high prices for it to drop all the way down to $1.92. And then for me to have to catch it around there and get some good prices on it. And then for me to have to keep my cost base good so that I can still keep it down to 437, which is really far away from that $1.92. My objective is to have it as close to that $1.92 as possible, especially being that I've been striking it way before that date, which is March. I've been striking this thing since March of I'm sorry, I'm right, okay. March of this year, so I can't be so mad at myself. I've been striking it since March of this year. So if I'd have been striking it since December, for example, then I'd have been striking at $1.68. But I didn't start striking until around March, which is not so bad. So my position is, I should have it around 359, but I'm around 437 at about 60, so that's not bad. The most I'm going to hit it for is 100 at the absolute most. So my objective is to get another $40 in there and squeeze it in there while keeping the average price down. That way I can exponentially grow as much as possible. Lo and behold, by the end of year 2023, I may even see that come down, drop below that April pricing around there where that $2.64 is. And hopefully I will be smart enough to not strike it while it's, going up, but to be very patient until the end of 2023, maybe the end of 2024 if I have to, and get that average price down to where I really want to get it, which is around that $2 mark right there. That way I can factor in, let's say, another $60 at the most at $2, which would average it out to about $3, which would make me look a little bit better overall. That's my objective. Company like Applied, very young company. You see they shot up 18% in one day. And the funny part is they just dropped like 18% 2 or 3 days before. You see how they shot up, then dropped down dramatically, then shot back up. It went from $3.66 all the way down to $2.88, which was about 20% of a drop, and then went right back up the next day to 20% increase, which is what you see there. I'm very bullish on them. I only put out $100 in them, but my average strike price is pretty good, $2.56. Pretty good. Where the absolute low that I could have gotten the whole year was that dollar. So I did pretty good. I think I started striking them around maybe December. Yeah, December was the first time I struck them. I should have struck them a little bit better, but started out with $15. on December 8th. Then sold it right back again. I guess they did really bad. Sold it again on December 20th, and then brought right back into it January 5th. So I don't know why I sold out of it. I think I did some research, kind of turned me off. Then did some more research, and I said, okay, I'm gonna go with him, and then hit him again for 10, then another 10, then another 5, and then end up selling 2 when they did well, just to take a little profit off, and then a little profit again, a little profit again, a little profit again, and then I stopped putting back into them around February. So, and this is where I'm at now, at about $100 with 33% total growth. So, and that's on the plot. That's one of my bullish ones. I'll probably take them up to $300 just for GP. Another one of my bullish ones, probably take them up to maybe 200 at the most, just for GP, which is Tenaya. Just to let you know, Riot's another big one. I don't know why I keep forgetting about them. Very low market cap, not high, 1.9 billion, which has a lot of opportunity for growth. Plus, it's starting in a new industry, which is blockchain, and it's one of the leaders. I have them, and I have I believe it's Marathon, whatever it's called. I have them competing against each other, but Marathon's been kind of turning me off a little bit. But I think overall they're going to do real well. And so, I mean, I still think I have about $70 in them, but they're not doing good. At least not as of this month. They haven't been doing all that well. I'm trying to find them real quick. There you go, Marathon. Marathon Patent Group. They're pretty much into the same thing. But I'm only up 1.8%. I got about $75 in them. But yeah, that's my Rod Blockchain's competition. But notice Rod Blockchain's number 1 out of my whole list. Just give you an idea where blockchain's going. And like I said, this is all under a narrative where everything's supposed to be doing bad, and you can easily see that I have less than 15 assets out of more than 100 assets that are doing bad, and the other 80 plus assets are in the positive. And this is all since December, all while since December, every last YouTuber, every last media person that I've heard speak is speaking a narrative of pull your money out to the retail investor, while all the big time financial, conglomerates invest in big institutions, and the guys who got all the money, they're buying, while all the retail investors are selling. It's so fucked up, to be honest with you. And then you take a small guy like myself, you hear me saying exactly opposite, and you very rarely can, come across a video like mine. And this is the truth, and the only way you're going to see the truth is if those same guys do what I'm doing, and that is literally open their portfolios up and show you, and not one of them are going to do it. Not one of them. If they do, they'll open up a paper portfolio, which is not real cash. It's fake money, and they're just trading fake money. They're not going to show you their money and what they're actually spending their money on, and if they're putting their money where their mouth is. You see exactly where I'm most bullish on by how much I invested, while all knowing that I'm planning on not investing no more than 100 in each asset, just to show you the power of exponential growth. I'm talking about changing $100 to $100,000. And if that is true, then why would you work for anybody ever in your life? Why would you do anything for money if you learn that and if you can prove that to be true? And this is what I'm doing. And right now on Riot Blockchain, remember, this is a 10-year process. This goes on to the year 2033. I'm already up 61%. This is a bad year. This is probably the worst year of this next 10-year bull run, and I'm already up 61% on blockchain. Period. While everybody else is saying everything's bad. So, and this is the truth. This is the facts. Everybody else is telling you pull out. I'm telling you to put in, and I'm up 61% on the right technologies, the right industries. All the other industries are getting their ass whipped, but these industries that I'm investing in are not. I've gotten 100 assets, and you can see with your own 2 eyes, only 15 of those assets are in the negative, and the worst negative that I have is 12% negative, 12%, where I've gotten my high at 61%, and my next high is at 60%. Right here, Tenaya, 60.14%. My next high after that is NVIDIA, 56%. I'm up more than 50% on some of my assets, and everybody else is telling you pull out, pull out, pull out. And these are my bullish assets. As you can see, these are my assets that I already predicted would do well. And I predicted, and you can tell I predicted by how much money I invested. $100 is the most I'm going. My number one asset has $100, and I'm sitting at 61%. So if my mindset was $1,000, then my number one asset would be sitting at $1,000, and that means my predictions are hitting right on point. Everything that I'm saying is obviously accurate if my number one hitter is hitting at number one on my list. And that's out of my mega. I mean, this is my mega cap stocks like NVIDIA. You know, even though Riot's not a mega cap stock, I already predicted that Riot will probably be my number one stock at the end. And lo and behold, is my number one stock at the beginning. So the objective is to see Riot carry out. And as long as I'm not keep putting money into Riot at 161% higher than I originally started out, then my law of exponential growth should work out just perfect in 10 years. And like I said, my objective is not to touch that anymore, to leave it as is. That means I can't pull profits on it, and that means that I can't put any more money into it. I want to make that $100 work for me. And the only way I'm going to do that is by not touching it. If I touch it, then I'm going to screw my cost-based average price up, which is no other YouTube is going to tell you. You can't keep cost-based averaging it. You're just going to screw your whole cost-based price up. And the objective is to grow. You're screwing up your growth. If I send that $6.85 up to $9 to $10 because I'm still buying the asset at $15 and $20, then I just screwed up my chance for exponential growth. Now that thing has got to go to $110 for me to get a 10x out of it. I don't want that. I want it to go to $60, and by the time that stock price make it at $60, which you don't need me to tell, it'll definitely make it there before 10 years, then I got 10x out of that money. And if it takes it 10 years, then that's even better. Because remember, it's not about money, it's about time. That's what I'm trying to prove. It's not about money, it's about time. If it was about money, I would be trying to put $10,000 into that asset. It's not about money. And you notice the guys who are putting $10,000 in, they got a lot of money. So when they put $10,000 in an asset, what they do? They dumbasses go back and they'll go put another $10,000 in an asset at 161% higher than what they previously bought it for. And then when the asset makes a dip, they screwed up. They're in a negative. And they're like, shit, how I end up in a negative when I was up 61% on the stock at one time is because you bought it at 161% higher than what you originally bought it in. Now that's your equilibrium. So now when the stock takes a 30% fall, you at a loss. Nah. I want to be able to look at this stock 10 years later, and I want to literally see 1,000% behind that $100. And you tell me whose portfolio's got anything more than a 200% behind it. Not even Warren Buffett's portfolio has that. Why? Because he keeps striking. You got to stop striking. Try telling a millionaire who needs to put his money somewhere that he has to stop striking. It's impossible. But the difference between a millionaire and you and me is that we can stop striking. There's other things we can put our money in. We don't have to keep striking an asset that's way overvalued. Our objective is to catch that asset undervalued and let all the hoopla sell itself. And you just sell it when it oversells itself and everybody realizes it oversells itself. But hopefully you're selling at the end of the 10-year mark and then investing that money into some of the new and more innovative companies with their market caps a lot lower to see if they'll grow exponentially like the previous company did. And now you're talking, investing in trust and you're investing in, generational wealth. You're not just buying an asset for that asset to grow and expire, but you're buying an asset to maximize it over the next 10, 20 years and then pull all your money out and then invest it into a new, more innovative company. That's why all my top choices, all my high picks with all my money in them are all my high cap stocks. I want to exhaust their growth, and then after I exhaust their growth, at the end of another 20 years, when the whole industry died down, and there's new up-and-coming industries, I'm going to involve myself in those new up-and-coming industries after I've maximized these old industries. This is an old company, NVIDIA. That's where all my money is. Microsoft, old company. That's where all my money is. I want to maximize the growth, maybe pull an 8X, a 6X, a 7X out of those large cap companies. Look, Apple, how much could I pull? They're already at 2.7 trillion. But if I could pull a 6X out of Apple and then catch them right on their downfall and invest in another company that's just coming up, that's doing pretty much the same thing that Apple does with a twist or more innovative, then I can catch that company and get maybe a 10 or 100X out that company. And now we're talking institutions. Now we're talking starting organizations. Now we're talking not just fixing families. We're talking about fixing cities and fucking states at a time. We're talking trust funds and things like that. We're talking our own banking systems and shit like that, literally in less than 30, 40 years, probably before I even die. And that's where I'm going with all this. I'm talking about families. I'm talking about conglomerates of organizations all together with one mindset. And as long as our mindset is the same, then we're all reinvesting in the same thing. And our mindset is pretty much, it starts with the kids. Literally, the family. And it all starts with financing. It all starts with financing because financing gives you power. Once you got power, you can make change. You can make moves. You can't make change or moves. You can't go to war, even if it's just literal or informational war, without any assets, without any money. You can't do it. You'll just simply run out or exhaust all your assets and you lose your war. So it starts here. It starts with financing. It starts with time independence so that you can have the time to fight for your endeavors. And all that starts off, financing. And understanding financing is more of time than it is of you going out here busting your ass trying to get some cash or some income. It's more time. Get some assets, let them appreciate over time, and start reinvesting into things that you're interested in and start making some change. And anybody can do it. I'm poor. My whole situation, my whole environment is poor, but I'm still doing it without a job.